Joining me now, as he does each and every week, is Sky News Australia's media watchdog columnist, the legendary Gerard Henderson.
Thank you.
Now, thanks for joining us on the desk as always. Let's get straight into it. We've spoken a lot about John Lyons in the past, his views on Israel, how they appear to be colouring some of his analysis. Let's listen to this grab because it's a shocker.
I believe this has been driven by Israel. I believe Israel has calculated that now is the timing. I think Israel has convinced the Americans that now is the time for what they want to see as historic regime change. Even the Australian government, their first line says, Australia stands, this is from Anthony Albanese, Penny Wong and Richard Marles, says, Australia stands with the brave people of Iran in their struggle against oppression. That's the first sentence of their statement. What in fact they're saying there, that's just sort of disinformation in my view.
Well, in a way this is funny, but it's also dangerous in a way, because a lot of people think that a public broadcaster in a country like Australia is probably government controlled. It isn't, we know, but a lot of people would think it is. So here you've got a very senior ABC journalist accusing his own government of disinformation. He also used the term propaganda elsewhere, so he's doing that. And he's also blaming Israel, but this is an opinion. I mean, there's no evidence for that. As you know, the United States had huge military forces outside of Iran. You either had to engage Iran or you had to quit. So, I mean, President Trump is not dependent on Prime Minister Netanyahu for his decisions. He makes his own decisions along with his own advisors who advise him. But John Lyons is sort of saying that that Israel's dominating the United States. And in Australia, our leaders are forced into disinformation to defend the arrangement. Now that's very dangerous. But also, he did it from Sydney. I mean, he's supposed to be the Washington D.C. based America's editor, and here he is on the crucial day in Sydney. And when the US went into Venezuela to grab the president there, he didn't come on ABC for about 3 days, so he was somewhere else. So when you need him, he's not there. So
the ABC's defence, which is weak, to say the least, but their defence is, well, he's an expert. What do you say to that?
Well, I don't think he is an expert. Now, he has spent a lot of time in Israel, but that's a while ago. That doesn't make him an expert necessarily. He wrote a book. And his book was very hostile to Israel and also to Israel's supporters in Australia. But he's not an expert on the United States. He's a journalist who's travelled around. But, I mean, there are plenty of experts.
And I thought journalists weren't supposed to be the personal adjudicator of truth from an expert. You know, we're not supposed to be sitting there on the pedestal talking down from an expert point. Isn't someone in a role like that, an America's editor role, supposed to canvass views from experts and then take complex ideas and make them more palatable for an audience? And so the ABC has done this very abrupt change where all of a sudden all of their presenters, they are the experts.
They are the expert. They have the opinions, and often other opinions aren't heard. So this is very unprofessional. But what John Lyons should be doing is arranging for different people to come on and talk about issues. And we're not stupid. We can form our own opinions. But he is preaching, and so are others at the ABC. And the ABC always defends it by saying, well, they're experts, but there are heaps of experts around. He's not the only expert in Australia on this matter at all.
Or while his boss is watching on and taking photos of him.
It's
all very strange. Okay, Laura Tingle, very similar situation. The expert, that is Laura Tingle. Let's listen to this.
Well, it keeps morphing. I suppose in the last 24 hours, what's really been noticeable is we've seen this new front, if you like, open up with the re-emergence of Hezbollah as a combatant. It fired missiles into Israel. Israel has responded incredibly aggressively with strikes into Beirut and also really noticeably making major incursions on land into southern Lebanon. It's fighting the Hezbollah in the north, and it's also continuing to come under fairly serious bombardment from Iran as well.
Okay, what do we make of this expert analysis?
Well, the ABC won't answer my question as whether Laura Tingle's ever been to or done journalism in Israel, the West Bank or Gaza. They won't answer it like it's a public secret. But here, Laura Tingle's suggesting that the aggression starts with Israel. Now, as we know, Israel's defending its northern borders against Hezbollah, which is being supplied by Iran. But she's sort of suggesting that the aggression comes from Israel, which again is not contested. I mean, if she may hold that view as an activist journalist, but there are plenty of other journalists around who don't hold that view. But as the global affairs editor, she's laying down the law. She's preaching, and no one, not Justin Stevens, not the managing director and editor-in-chief of the ABC or anyone, will contradict her. So you've got another example where senior ABC journalists are running the joint and management doesn't do anything to stop them. And that, again, is damaging to the country in a sense, because a lot of people would think if you're outside the country and you've got senior people from the public sector broadcaster, the publicly funded broadcaster, laying down this law, you might well think, well, that's a very strong opinion within Australia. Well, it is an opinion, but it's only one of many opinions.
I mean, the suggestion, it's logically bankrupt, the flow of reasoning that Israel is an aggressor, because we know that Iran is sponsoring terrorism all over the world. We know it's doing it. There's links with Hamas and everything. We know they're doing it in Australia. And Anthony Albanese has even come out quite strong, saying that this is appalling.
Well, as we know, Iran's been at war with the United States since 1979. I mean, that's when they captured the embassy, took the diplomats, and that's continued. But now they're at war with about 10 countries in the region, most of whom are Muslim majority countries. They're not Shiite countries, but they're Muslim majority countries.
I guess the point is that it is contested, and she was stating as an opinion. But Gerard Henderson, thank you so much for joining me as always. Really appreciate your insights.